For the first time, the formerly online exclusive Ludwig Ahgren Championship Series, otherwise known as the LACS, made its offline debut for its highly anticipated 5th iteration to start off July with a resounding bang. Beginning in 2018 as a small 16-man invitational, the LACS saw a rapid surge in notoriety over the next 3 years. Its 4th installment in particular even managed to etch its way into the Super Smash Bros. History books by becoming the largest Melee tournament of all time with 2,422 entrants, surpassing the previous title holder EVO 2016. Needless to say, expectations were a little high for the first ever in-person LACS, and I'm happy to report that the tournament delivered on all the hype and then some. So much so, in fact, that much like my LSI video, I'm gonna need to separate this into 3 different parts just to cover the sheer amount of amazing moments this event produced. With 16 of some of the world's finest battling it out for their share of the massive $50,001 prize pool, LACS 5 proved to be a must-watch summer blockbuster. I'm Turndownforwalt, and here are the top 5, well, actually more like top 12 performances from the Ludwig Ahgren Championship Series in this week's JV5.
He's got it, a little trick shot from Josh, man, right there.
Forgot the first commandment, thou shalt not sleep on the kid.
Oh my goodness.
On top of the 12 players that were automatically invited to compete at LACS 5, 4 additional players would get the chance to win their way into the tournament via a last chance qualifying bracket. 115 players entered the qualifier event for a shot at competing in arguably the biggest event of the year, and in the first part of our recap, we'll be looking at the 5 players who either made it in or put on their own noteworthy performances. Having placed multiple times on the SoCal Melee Power Rankings from 2016 to 2019, Zeo can easily be considered a true veteran of possibly the most stacked region in the entire game. And throughout 2023, with placements like 97th at Genesis 9, 13th at DreamHack San Diego, and 25th at Combo Breaker, the venerable Captain Falcomane still shows no signs of slowing down. After kicking off his run at the Last Chance Qualifier with a win over Arizonian Samus and controller guru Violence, Zeo would face a gigantic roadblock in the form of S2J, who promptly sent him tumbling into the losers bracket after a quick 3-0 set loss. While in losers, Zeo would embark on a 3-set win streak which saw him topple 3 opponents in Alberto, Franz, and Koopa Troopa 895 until a one-sided 3-0 loss to Azel saw his time in bracket come to a close at 13th place. In the wake of Fat Goku's retirement after major upset, Stiv has risen to become the new top dog of Oregon Melee. Following their ascension to the top of their state's pecking order, Stiv has wasted no time in making a name for themselves on the regional scene, placing near top 8 at events like Reign 7 and Carnival Clash. They've also done well internationally, with them placing 25th at Battle of BC5 with a remarkable Game 5 win over None. While Stiv had been on the radar for most in the Northwestern region for a while, it was their huge run at the LCQ that ended up catapulting themselves into the greater Melee consciousness. Over the course of their winners bracket conquest alone, the Rose City representative trounced the likes of Vincessant, Null, and SDJ until they eventually lost in winners quarters to KJH 3-1. Picking up a superb win over Azel in their next set, Stiv would be shown the door out of the bracket in loser side top 8 by S2J, but not before taking their Californian neighbor to the brink in a close Game 5 set.
The transformations that we've gotten have been really good for S2J. Because you don't want the fire stage, you don't want the rock stage.
Oh, that's it. No, there's more. Next one.
I think that's it.
Dubby. Because there's a tech.
Nice.
You can't get the drift back.
You can, but it's pretty hard. You can.
Yeah.
With stellar wins this year over standout contenders like Lucky, Spark, SFOP, Ginger, and Cody Schwab, Zamu has certainly built up a strong enough case to be considered perhaps the Midwest's best player. Which is kind of why it came as an utter shock when he was surprisingly taken out of winners after an early upset loss to Koopa Troopa 3-2. Although he may have been devastated by this premature departure from the winners bracket, Zamu would showcase an ironclad resolve by immediately going on to qualify for LACS 5, which included a whopping 7-set win streak over top-tier talent in Vincessant, Albert, Free Palestine, Kem, Sunsei, and KJH.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, I didn't want to say it.
It's kind of looking like a Zamu.
I know it's the delegation. I didn't want to say it.
There it is. Zamu.
I mean, Zamu played amazing.
Yeah, he's played great all day. He's earned it through and through.
Sunsei, I think after,
Dude, being about the names
Kalindi is crazy. Yeah, I know.
Showing signs of the same player who once dominated her way into a Combo Breaker title back in May, the pride of Louisiana Melee, Magi, almost managed to qualify for LACS 5 through winners by taking out Steech, CPU Zero, and Kem. That was until she unfortunately had her wings emphatically clipped by one of the best Pikachu players in the world, Swift, 3-0 in winners semis. Waiting for her in one of the event's losers qualifier sets was none other than S2J, a player that she, despite never having played in an offline setting before, owned a 2-0 online set loss record against. Fortunately for Magi, she would end up winning her first ever set against S2J after a fierce 5-game clash to cement her spot in LACS 5.
No! Oh my God!
He rolled.
Oh, that's it. That's
gotta be it.
What? Oh, no! Yo, she made that.
God, dude.
She made that so complicated.
She like super through.
She super through, then he super through. Yo, she did the hold on. Let me get it together
now. Let me get it together now.
Recording possibly the best performance out of any player in the Last Chance qualifier, reputable Sheik scholar as well as hipster Darth Sidious impersonator, Spark embarked on an absolute warpath through the winners bracket. Running through some stiff competition that included Casper, Free Palestine, SGJ, and KJH, Spark didn't just qualify for LACS 5 without dropping a set. He also did so while only dropping just one single game the entire way.
Yeah, today, for sure.
Who would be on the list?
Yeah, they be hugging the block, bro.
Block for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And Zeta advances.
Yeah,
All right, come on. Kalindi still in it.
Kalindi not out.
He's got a
Against
Fox
Xander.
Falcon.
Moving on to the second part of our recap, we'll next be covering the first official phase of LACS 5, the Swiss pool stage. From all day Saturday to mid-Sunday, all 16 of the qualifying players would play a varying amount of sets against each other, with those having a positive enough record being able to make it into championship bracket later on Sunday. Here, we'll be looking at just 3 players who really got the crowd going. Emerging this year as one of the biggest superstars north of the border, Canada's favorite son, Moki, clocked in a spectacular performance over the first 2 days of LACS 5. Other than dropping a close Game 5 set to the current best player in the world, as well as his Moist Mogul teammate in Zane, Moki nearly went unblemished in pools. Before eventually qualifying for top 8, the Great White North native accumulated a short list of victories over top 20 heavy hitters in Joshman, Axe, and Amsa. The Amsa win in particular stands out because Moki didn't just beat the second best player in Melee 3-0, he also extended a frankly absurd undefeated win streak over him to 6-0. And by the time of the tournament's conclusion, Moki would raise that 6 once more to a 7 when he beat Amsa again after crossing controllers in top 8. Talk about having somebody's number.
You shield drop up air.
Oh my god. All these hits that I think will knock down aren't.
They are knocking down, they're not leading to anything, and it just creates this insane tense.
Scary percentage for Moki here too, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starting to get there.
Yeah.
That is gonna do it. Oh my god. Hard fought.
Yeah, Omsa's just way too high percent. It broke the armor, and then just Nair to kick him off stage.
Piloting one of the most unique controllers ever, which I jokingly mentioned on Twitter that it must require a blood sacrifice to use, Swift garnered a lot of attention for himself after dominating the Last Chance qualifier. With the power of the obelisk, he easily defeated Khalid, Koopa Troopa 895, Sunsei, and Magi in the process. The Tri-State Pikachu would also exceed expectations in Swiss pools by amassing a solid 3-2 record to nab himself a spot in the championship bracket, with his only losses coming at the hands of top 10 luminaries Axe and Amsa.
He's okay. He's gonna go
High,
high.
Great DI.
Cancel.
Oh, this could be limited. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he gets there.
Again?
Swift.
That is a deciding tech right there. that you keep getting.
That's hard.
Yo,
He has
from
been
open
beating
bracket.
people with it.
Dude, those
in top
knockdowns were
8.
so crucial.
Following a return to a second place finish at Tip Top 14 earlier last month, it looked as if the perpetual fan favorite in Mango had finally found the motivation he needed to climb his way back to the top of Melee's upper echelon. And aside from losing just a single set to his Jigglypuff nemesis in Hungrybox, Mango would almost steamroll his way through Swiss pools, going 3-1 with wins over Spark, Magi, and Trif to advance into the event's winner's quarters. Funnily enough, he actually managed to beat Trif in one game during their set on FD using Marth. Fortunately for everyone, this would definitely be the last time we see Mango using a completely random secondary at LACS.
It's fun.
I think it's fun.
We're having a good time right now. Mango's having a great time.
My. I was not sure if he was going to be able to put that combo all the way to rest,
Yeah.
but and in classic Mango style, hitting the edge cancel.
Yeah.
He gets it done.
Swaggy.
After an entire weekend of intense but thrilling competition among a contingent of some of the best players on the planet, we've now reached the last part of our recap of LACS 5, the top 8. 16 players entered the extremely stacked and grueling Swiss pool stage on Saturday, and by late afternoon on Sunday, only 8 remained for a shot at the lion's share of the enormous $50,001 prize money. Keeping up his pursuit towards regaining his place at the top of Melee's hierarchy, Hungrybox showed why he is still one of the best in the business by making top 8 after going 3-1 in pools. There, he brought down Mango, Kadoran, and Joshman in an extremely narrow Game 5 set triumph, with his only setback coming against Melee's most stalwart free agent, Cody Schwab. Sadly for HBox though, the other Melee gods saw it fit to match him up against the fabled God Slayer himself in Leffen in his very first set of top 8, who would swiftly vanquish the Floridian from winner's bracket 3-0. In the loser's bracket, Hungrybox would end up advancing all the way to loser's semis after dispatching both Swift and some Dr. Mario main 3-1 before being diced from the bracket by Zane in a close 3-2 set.
Will it be the same movie we've seen?
Don't be above your dad.
I told you, I've seen this movie so many times.
The same song and dance.
Right?
For 14 years. Fuck yeah, baby.
How many times?
Oh my God.
How many times?
I wonder if Jack...
Going undefeated in the Swiss pool stage with a clean 3-0 record, Cody Schwab continued to build his case for the title of Melee's #1 by cruising his way through top 8 and into winners finals by amassing 2 amazing 3-1 wins over Amsa and Mango. There, Cody found himself opposite the same man that he beat the previous day also in 3-1 fashion, Leffen. However, while he may have gotten the better of the Swede in their last encounter, it was Leffen who would prevail on the run back to hand Cody his first loss of LACS 5 3-2. Now in losers finals, Cody next had the incredibly difficult task of facing Zane, with whom he was dead even in sets against at 2-2. Of course, why would here be any different? Their set ended up going the full 5-game distance, with Cody seemingly on the verge of beating Zane with the 2-stock in the last game. That was until Zane went absolutely insane and managed to claw, or slash in this case, his way towards an unbelievable comeback to take the set 3-2, ending Cody's run at 3rd place.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh! Caught him, no shot!
Cody's a monster right now.
So sick. Zane didn't land.
God.
Zane was like a pixel from landing, I swear to God.
With his first place finish at tip-top 14 catapulting him right back into the running to retain his title as best player in the world, Moist Mogul's own Zane wasted no time in tearing through the competition at LACS 5. He notably stood out as one of the only 2 players who had reached top 8 without dropping any sets at all in Swiss pools, with the other being Cody Schwab. After first taking down Swift 3-0, Zane next locked horns with Leffen and his technically sound Sheik in winner semis. For the first 2 games of the set, both players proved evenly matched, with the score standing at 1-1 going into Game 3. But then, Zane did something that's seemingly been theory-crafted for months. He switched off his tried-and-true Marth and locked in Ice Climbers. It was at this moment that the player we all know as Zane disappeared, and in stepped one of his various personas, Don't Test Us. Making a rare offline appearance at one of the year's biggest events, Don't Test Us absolutely demolished Leffen in Game 3 to put himself and Zane on set point. Leffen and his Sheik, however, weren't about to go down without a fight and ended up taking the next 2 games over Zane and Don't Test Us to send the game's #1 player into the loser's bracket. Not willing to let another major win slip through his fingers, Zane set off on a 3-set win streak over Moki, Hungrybox, and Cody Schwab to earn another shot at Leffen in grand finals. But that's not the #1 entry of this event, so I think it's about time we talk about it. Prior to LACS 5, it had been over a year since Leffen's last North American major win, Battle of BC4, where he won over Joshman, Amsa, Hungrybox, and Zane twice. Despite coming out of the Swiss pool stage at LACS 5 with a barely positive record of 3-2, the TSM standout appeared to be on top of his game in the championship bracket, reaching winner-side grand finals by crushing Hungrybox, Cody Schwab, and Zane, as well as Don't Test Us. In the tournament's main event, Leffen once again collided with Zane in what was sure to go down as an action-packed affair. Surprisingly, Don't Test Us didn't end up coming out at all in grand finals, with Zane choosing to go all Marth for the rest of the tournament. For 5 whole games, the two would put on one of the most competitive and adrenaline-inducing grand final sets that we've seen all year so far. However, by the time the last stock was taken, it was Leffen who jumped out of his chair in victory over Zane after a memorable 3-2 set, winning his first major championship of 2023.
Yeah. Leffen won that scramble so good.
Yeah, a bit of a panic there too, I think.
Agreed. Maybe there's something.
He came all the way down to the platform, held down, and that's it! Leffen takes it, LACS 5!
Wow. Unreal.
What an insane run!
Insane.
Almost didn't make it into the top 8. Was down bad.
Down bad in so many ways. Wow, good stuff to Leffen.
Unreal. Big clash
Right,
from the
right
audience.
after the Kumite, too.
Turns out the worst Street Fighter player that Kamute is the best melee player. You know?
He knows where his bread's buttered.
Hey, thanks for watching this special episode of the JV5. Thank you to our top tier patrons and YouTube members Evishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Dorian, Eric is Cool, Juniper, NNG Esports, Storm SSB, Storm, and Tingly Jungle for supporting the channel. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel because I've kind of been rounding up my subscriber count to my parents for a while now, and they're honestly starting to get a little bit suspicious, and it's kind of weird now when we talk about it at barbecues. And since you're still here, you absolutely need to check out the best moments from CEO 2023. Plup was there, I think. Maybe.